Here's something nobody talks about when they hand out advice. Most of what passes for wisdom is just people telling you what worked for them and assuming it'll work for you too. Real wisdom? That's different. Let me tell you about two very different paths to wisdom. One is mine, and the other belongs to a friend of mine named Bruce, who figured out something most successful people never do. I spent decades thinking I was pretty smart about life. Built businesses, made money, gave advice to other business owners, had frameworks about systems and opinions about how things should work. Then I got diagnosed with 2 aggressive cancers simultaneously. I had a brain bleed, lost the ability to do activities that had defined me for most of my adult life. Suddenly, all my clever frameworks felt pretty hollow. Here's what I learned. You don't really have wisdom until life tests it. My 95-year-old uncle constantly asked me to predict world events. I've grown comfortable saying these 3 words. I don't know. The phrase used to feel like failure. As a young business owner, I thought having all the answers was the mark of success. Now I understand that acknowledging uncertainty isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Now let me tell you about Bruce. He grew up with an abusive alcoholic father, left home at 16, no books in his house, spent much of his 4th and 5th grade sitting alone in the hallway of school. By any normal measure, he shouldn't have become wise. Instead, he turned into the kind of person who reads a book a week, who approaches every situation with genuine curiosity rather than assumptions. And here's what Bruce did that blows my mind. When his legal practice was taking off, he stopped trying to write a normal business plan. Instead, he wrote a 17-page business plan for his family. Think about the wisdom in that decision. Most of us separate our professional planning from our personal lives. We treat business as the domain of strategy and our families as the domain of hope or luck. Bruce recognized a pattern. The same discipline that made him successful in business could make him successful at home, but only if he applied it intentionally. He didn't just value his family. He defined exactly what that meant. Weekly dates with his wife, weekend retreats with his children every 6 weeks, daily walks, Friday nights off for family dinner. Then he tracked himself. On his business commitments, he scored 92%. On his family commitments, he scored 100%. The wisdom isn't in the specific activities. The wisdom is in recognizing that vague values don't protect anything. Family is important to me as a nice sentiment. It doesn't change your behavior. Here's what I've come to believe about wisdom. It lives in the gap between what you know and what you're willing to admit you don't know. It lives in recognizing patterns without assuming every pattern applies to every situation. It lives in asking better questions rather than having all the answers. Bruce gained wisdom by applying business discipline to family life, by treating relationships as worthy of the same intentionality he brought to his practice. I'm gaining wisdom by recognizing that control is mostly an illusion, that I don't know open doors that certainly closes. Your path to wisdom will look different. It has to. But here's what transfers across all our different journeys. Wisdom requires paying attention, not just to what happens, but to the patterns beneath what happens. Wisdom requires humility, the recognition that you could always be wrong, that there's always more to learn. And wisdom requires time. You can't rush it. You can only stay curious and let life teach you. I'm still learning, still making mistakes, still discovering patterns I missed before, and honestly, that's exactly where wisdom lies. What about you? Where does wisdom live for you? Why don't you let me know in the comments below? And oh, by the way, thanks a lot for watching today. I hope to see you back here really soon.